Okay, so it does do face tracking. I didn't know for sure for that one. Alright, let me push this out. I have the DJ Osmo on the selfie stick here. You see that's my camera right there? That's my camera. I'm gonna flip this around. There you go. That's right there. Flip, flip, flip. If you think about it, I think that is definitely a lot of fun. If you ever get a DJ Osmo, definitely check this guy. Ow! Hey. Fucking damn it, that hurt. Alright, so this is a particular video that I wanted to talk about for some time, and it's pretty much how to vlog for YouTube and Facebook and Twitter and all that. So the way I actually start my videos is I want to tell a story that actually makes sense to you guys. So how that works is that I want to create how I get there, which is the beginning, what transplants or what takes place during that time, plus the outro or the ending, and put like some teasers at the end or whatever it is. So the way that is done is that you shoot at two different locations. One which would be at your house, in the comfort of your own place, which a lot of people mostly do at the time, and you film a location when you're actually comfortable doing so. And you actually want to display, or should I say display, your gestures and your messages, and you basically want to engage your viewers or your audience into getting them to be interested in what you're talking about. So if you've noticed, my voice goes pretty much all over the place. You don't want somebody to have like monotonic sound. So this is C3PO, this is how I talk, and it is boring, and it is stupid, and I won't be able to pay attention to anything of what you'll say, and you'll fall asleep. And my hands are just moving like this, or they're on my side, and I'm just staring into the camera like I'm an idiot. So, with my voice being all over the place, and you're doing a lot of hand gestures and things like that, and stopping and starting, basically what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to capture attention as much as possible so you understand what I'm saying. When I do it at home, I have the camera on a stationary platform. So right now it's on a monopod with the microphone on shotgun. So I want you guys to really just focus on what I'm saying, and it's not on the wide shot, which I could just completely focus out, and you'll see where I'm actually at. That of which I'm actually at home. So with this shot, I want you to focus on what I'm saying rather than just what's around me. That's what which is the wide shot is for. The wide shot itself you can actually find on more high-end cameras like the Nikons and Canons that have the lens, the wide angle lens, not the fisheye, just the wide angle lens. So with that, you have the reader with you. I'm sorry about the reader. The viewer with you, and they focus on you rather than just the camera and the environment on that. Because if you have the environment too busy, they'll focus out on what you're actually saying instead of focus what you want for them to hear. So that's part one. Now, when you're on location, what you do is you're outside, you're having fun, you're doing this, you're doing that. It's more of a visual capture rather than just the audio capture. You only put in certain sounds, like when you want to talk about something, you actually stop and say this, that, and the third. You do that do that for like 5 to 10 seconds to really capture the essence video, not just see a whole lot of busyness going on in the background. So that's how you really just capture the reader into to being there with you. So that's the part 2. The last part is the editing part. So with that, editing can be sort of tricky. Now I say it because it takes just a little bit more than just filming and getting the right music in there and things like that. It's also cutting out clips so you don't have so many pauses and hums and ums and things like that. Plus, you have a good chance to put in a lot of B-roll footage, and if you make your own music like I do, you can throw that into there as well, so you can bypass all those copyright claims that YouTube has. So with those 3 things to keep in mind, basically telling a story, having visual and audio captures to bring the reader in, as well as audio editing and video editing, all those 3 into one, you would definitely be able to make a halfway decent vlog. So if you're one of those advanced people, what you could do is have like a cinematic stance. So what I mean by cinematic is you can have a whole bunch of B-roll music and a whole bunch of soundtracks, and you can arrange them in such a way where it's actually relative to what you're talking about. So say for example, you're doing like drone footage, which is actually one of my favorite. The drone footage just so happens to, say for example, you're doing aerial footage in New York City, or you're doing like background, like people walking up and down the street. That's a good set of footage to put into your story, if it is something that is relative to that. Hyperlapsing landscapes. So if you're filming a building with the sky and the sun moving across the sky in the background, that's a good set of footage. But you want to keep it to like maybe 5 or 10 seconds or something like that, so they're not just looking at Nat Geo scenery, because they could do that because there's not too many people that look at landscapes all the time. So the way to garner a bunch of subscribers is that you want to post as, I don't want to say as frequently as possible, but you want to post at a consistent rate. So for example, you want your readers to come at your viewers to tune in on a Saturday. So you want to have a schedule set for Saturday at 9 o'clock. So you planned it in somebody's mind, saying, all right, come back at Saturday at 9 o'clock, you'll see a new video. And so that's what they do. It runs like clockwork. Or if you're one of those daily vloggers, you can put a set schedule at 6 o'clock in the evening, which is basically prime time. That is pretty much the time where people come on, they unwind, and instead of them actually watching TV, looking at their favorite shows, they can take a look at you and see what you did during the day. So now, on top of that, what you want to do is you want to actually talk about the highlights of your story. So, say for example, it's not just eating breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and you going to work, coming home, being in the car, things like that. It's more, you want to actually dramatize that just a little bit, not too much. Now, what I mean by this is that what has happened to where you decide to make a video or footage or document footage around that time for that to happen. Or if you have something that you're thinking about one that time, you wanna document footage on, or should I say self-vlog on what it is that you want to talk about and what you want your viewers to know about. If there's a social issue that you want to talk about, and you're in the car and you have the music somewhat going on in the background. So with that, you want to be mildly dramatic and put a little bit more emotional feeling into it, but not too much to where you turn people away. Just a little bit to where people are interested enough to where you're not going all over. You're not going all over the place. Creating a story takes a lot of parts to it. It was supposed to be 3 I was supposed to talk about, but it wound up being like 5 or 6. But I'm pretty sure you guys got the picture. The editing portion of it takes a long time to do. There is no easy fix. There's no workaround. There's no press edit and everything gets fixed for you. you have to put the work into it because artificial intelligence is not going to do it for you. This is where I would suggest to get a nice laptop. I use a Windows computer, which is a HP Envy. I also have a Spectra, but my music program not on that because it takes a lot of power to run music programs. So with get a nice laptop. I recommend an HP, especially on the more expensive side, anything over $1,000 since you're doing video editing and things like that. Get that plus a nice. You actually have a smartphone. If you're viewing this on your on a smartphone, let's say for example like an iPhone or a Samsung, or I have an Asus smartphone, or a Huawei or things like that. If you have a smartphone, that's your camera right there. So you can just definitely view on a camera. You put it on a selfie stick, and if you can come across a nice microphone, say for example if you get one from B&H, all you have to do is just attach a microphone on there, and boom, you have your vlog, your camera set up. I myself have, like I said, a Sony AX53 camera plus a what kind of microphone is this? Oh, an MX55 from VidPro. So I have MX55 VidPro microphone, shotgun microphone, plus the Sony camera. So I use this to do most of my vlogs with. I also take it with me. I put it on the monopod. I take it everywhere I go. The monopod just fixed it in a nice little one of these little sling bags here. This is my sling bag right here. I just throw it in here, and yeah, I'm pretty much good to go. I also put the camera and microphone in here. This is my bag, which is really nice. And I also have the Osmo Pocket that I'm also using as well. That was also quite a bit of money. It was like almost $500, nearly $500 for me. So yeah, it's just those two cameras. Now I have 3 different cameras for a reason. The Sony camera is my main setup. This particular camera is the stationary camera. This is because it's on a monopod. All I have to do is plop it somewhere, pull the leg out, stand it up. I won't have to do anything. I'm not a real fan of the bendable stands because it's not at the level that I want for it to be on. Although it is a consideration, but the fact that I can stand it up, I can talk, I put it back into place, taken care of, put it back, I'm ready to go. The Osmo Pocket is more of a portable camera. I can pull it out, nobody's going to really say anything, but I can easily capture footage by bringing that camera out. It's a dedicated camera with that is a integrated gimbal, so it's more stable than both my Sony camera as well as my microphone. And because I still have my selfie stick, I can just go ahead and pop that on there, and it can go as high as I needed to, or as low as I needed to, and still not have any issues. The camera itself is stable, like I said, it's a stabilized camera, so I can go anywhere with it. So it's just those 3 cameras. So once all that footage is done, it goes to the computer, I edit it, and boom, that's it. And the processing takes at least about a good hour, if not 2 hours, or if I'm doing like 15 or 20 minute videos, I say about a good 8 hours. So, but the whole point behind it is that when you're doing vlogs, you want to tell a story. You want to tell a good story. The story is what captures the viewers. So if you go to the movies, you have the all-seeing eye camera. Okay, it takes at least about a couple months, if not a few months, before they get the footage together and edit it a certain way. If you're doing CGI, they set a release date and all that stuff, and you go see the movie. The Lord of the Rings is a good example. So yeah, that's pretty much how you edit how you do vlogs. The whole point of the vlog is to create a story. You want to create a good story. You want to create a story that brings in the viewer. Like I'm just pretty much bringing you guys in with the past vlogs I'm doing. You want to capture the viewer's imagination. My editing skills is still on the amateur level, but I can easily amplify it to where I can bring in all kinds of things. Like, for example, if some of you had seen the short film that I've done, I could bring on like 2 or 3 different people and bring do like a whole feature film or something like that. That's worth like 2 hours, whatever it is. I can easily do that because I have the equipment. Speaking of which, when you are doing filming, My preference is 1080p at 60 frames per second. This allows me to offer slow motion views for a little bit more dramatic shots. So if I'm filming like a sports event or something like that, that allows for me to slow it down so you can see exactly what's going on. This applies to slow motion as well as bullet time. Bullet time is basically when you see a bullet that goes by. So if it goes super fast, you want to capture its movement. So I like doing those kind of stuff. I also like hyperlapse, which is basically having 6 hours go down, condensed into 6 seconds. There's a whole lot of things I like doing as far as those features go, and most of it comes down to the editing portions of it. So I highly suggest to get something like an HP laptop. I have the HP Envy and the Spectra, but the Envy is what deals with most of the media. And the main program I use is the Adobe Creative Suite, which includes Photoshop, which is one of the main programs I use, as well as Premiere Pro. Photoshop, as you guys know, is what deals with images and sometimes GIF files, while Premiere Pro deals with editing video. So Premiere Pro and Photoshop, photo and video. You also have After Effects, which is motion graphics, which takes even more time to put together, and Illustrator to a point. I don't necessarily do Lightroom too much because it doesn't have what Photoshop and Premiere Pro has, and it doesn't have exactly what I want for it to have. So, not to mention, I don't do motion graphics enough. It's I want to have a whole dedicated team to actually put that together. So motion graphics is really cool. You can do that for businesses and events and things like that. But I want to leave that to the pros because I might mess something up, and I really don't feel like messing with those things. So yeah, it's that's pretty much the summary of how to vlog. Vlogging is really fun. You just have to have the time and the energy, the will and the patience and the money to actually put them together. So if you guys have a big idea, or you have like a plan or something, or if there's like an event that you want to go to, I mean, go ahead and create the story. Tell the story to the people out there that are watching, not just you, but the event. And the more stories that you put out there that's created by you, and the more of a personality that you have, the more chance that people will follow you. Create a story. Go out and create a story. Go out and film. Go out and bring a lot of people in, and be a YouTuber. YouTube pays. The YouTube literally does pay you to put videos onto its platform, along with Instagram, and I'm not sure about Twitter, but these platforms pay for you to put videos on their platform, and all they have to do is slap advertisements on. All of a sudden you're seeing $5, $7, $9, $10, $20,000 coming in to your bank account. So that's my goal. Definitely that should be your goal if you plan on being a YouTuber. I've already convinced at least about 3 or 4 people out there to become YouTubers and tell their rendition of a story. And yeah, that's pretty much how it is. Saturday, June 3rd or 4th it is. Well, basically tomorrow. So the day after this video gets posted, I'm going to be out there walking Park Avenue and see what that's about. This is a unique event because Park Avenue is going to be closed from City Hall all the way to 72nd Street, and that's a long way. So this park is specifically closed to allow for pedestrians and bikers and whatnot to go all throughout the street. Drones are not allowed there because it's New York City and that's how it is. But if you can sneak drone footage in there, that would be sweet. So yeah, if you guys want more information on how to vlog, or if you guys need resources, definitely drop something in the comments, and I'll try to help you guys out as much as I can. I'm not somebody that wants to shit you guys out, or I'm not that kind of an asshole. I like helping people, especially if they want to dabble into something that I'm into, and some of the role models that I look up to. So So yeah, if you want more information or you want resources, definitely drop something in the comments. I'll be more than happy to help you guys out. Other than that, I'll see you at Park Ave.